Hi, I am Sunazo and welcome back to another episode of Fixed in Fashion. And today we have Lisa Matya. She is a fashion designer working in industry. So I thought it would be a very great idea to kind of have her on the show to discuss what it takes to be an industry professional as a designer. You've been doing this for how long? Let me give the floor to you.
Oh, so I started off doing my internship at TFG. Then I did my trainee program, which was another year. And then now I did another year of being a junior designer, so I'm still a junior designer. Yeah. So three years.
3 years as a designer.
3
So
years,
I
yeah.
think people always have the notion of think that being a fashion designer is a glamorous industry.
No.
So tell us how it is.
It's
what
like
exactly.
2% glamour and 98% hard work and passion and time. So you have to put a lot of time, passion, and drive behind it, definitely.
Okay, so I want to go through the processes of how you become a junior designer. Someone out there who's watching the show was like, I want to be a junior designer.
Yeah.
How do you become a junior designer?
So a great way to get into a company, that's if you want to be a designer in a company, is to start with the internship programs. It's, as much as it's not glamorous and not what you want to do when you get out of school, it's a great foot into the industry. So I definitely recommend an internship in a company like TFG, PEP, and whatever.
And Woolies and Queen's Park and all those companies, they offer
definitely to get your foot in there, and then you prove yourself from there. Then it's you proving yourself. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's actually great advice. I also want you to know, you started as an intern. What exactly are the day-to-days as a fashion intern in industry in South Africa? I feel like we all have watched really cool movies about being a fashion designer, like Devil Wears Prada. I thought I'm going.
Yeah, a magazine.
It's gonna be
that was completely different, but it's same struggles. You know, the whole struggle to prove yourself. That there is an element of that in there, but it's definitely absorbing. So that year is about absorbing as much as you can, learning from what your job entails, learning what the different roles in your team that you're going to be in. So I'd say learn as much as you can, be willing to learn, you know what I mean? Don't be on a high horse, you know what I mean? You can't come in with the mentality that I'm the ish, you know what I mean? Even though you know you're the ish, you know you're the ish.
Of course you're the ish.
You have to come in eagerness and readiness to learn, yeah.
Okay, you mentioned that there's being a designer isn't a glamorous job. I just want to know, what are the ins and outs? What does your day look like?
Ooh, admin.
Do I get to be creative?
Okay, the creative part is the fun part. Where you get to be creative, that's the fun part of the job.
What percentage is creative and what percentage is admin?
Okay, very little percentage is creative, unfortunately. Unless you want to be an entrepreneur and do your own line and be your own designer. Being a designer in retail, unfortunately, isn't that creative, because at the end of the day, you're catering to a customer and to a market, and you have to make sure whatever you're proposing to your client is going to sell, and have the facts and the stats that's going to sell at the end of the day. So very little creativity, but a lot of admin, a lot of you have to have a lot of technical knowledge when it comes to a garment.
Where did you learn that? Because I guess, do you get taught in the program the technical knowledge, or do you have previous experience before you jumped on with the company you're with now?
So you definitely learn a lot in school in terms of the technical knowledge of what the construction of a garment and what goes into a garment. But you learn, I felt like I learned a lot more when I was in the company, because the thing is, you're dealing with production queries. You're dealing with a lot more, you're dealing with that, but on a bigger scale, because now whatever you're designing has to be factory friendly. You know what I mean? They must be able to sew that thing in a factory, you know? So you need to think of ways of making that construction easier, you know what I mean? And cheaper.
I hear you. I know you have a fashion degree.
Yeah.
Did having a fashion degree give you any advantage with your job, do you think someone needs to study to become a designer? To be in your position
I
right
think
now?
it definitely does help, but I think it's also very much an experience thing.
Okay.
So it's very much you having to get a good mentor, someone to help you. You learn on the job a lot of the times. Yeah, so definitely you do need your fashion degree or your fashion diploma, but it's definitely experience. Yeah.
Okay, so you would say that you could actually like join the internship program and then learn from there.
Yeah.
Having the degree doesn't really like.
Yeah. Because
mold.
the best thing is that they also do offer like, well, I speak for the company that I'm in, that they do offer like training, like for instance, with what we did in uni, Illustrator and technical drawings. We get training for that as well. So they take you through courses where you get Illustrator training, you get Photoshop training. There's programs that we use within the company, you get training on that. So it's not like they're leaving you at the deep end and you must swim with all these programs and be like there is some sort of support.
That's good. Also, I want to ask, this is like a question we always ask. Do you enjoy what you do?
Most of the time I do. Obviously it has its challenges. Wow. It has its challenges.
What's the biggest challenge?
It's definitely having to, it's completely different from being in school and being a designer in school and being your own designer and being creative and going crazy. It's like, it's a lot of admin. It's a lot of processes. It's a lot of...
I'm guessing a lot more serious deadlines.
Definitely deadline. Definitely deadline driven. You have to be your ducks. You have to your T's must be crossed and your
I's must dotted.
Yeah. So you have to stick to your deadlines and learn how to prioritize and just be overall organized.
Yeah. Do you have any more questions for you, Lisa?
You kind of shot a lot of questions all at once. You were like,
I really did.
That's a lot.
I really did.
Yeah.
And then just like, could you walk us through the design process, maybe like from when it starts? Like, let's say I bought this at the Fix.
Okay.
Where does this garment? How does this happen?
So, it either comes from a brief from your buyer or the buying team, or it comes from you doing a research as a designer and bringing it forward to the buying team and being like, I feel like this is important to put into your range because of A, B, C, and D. Or maybe you saw this
and
top.
And buyers, I know people talk about big buyers being a little bit more aggressive and not really listening. Do you find it easier to work with buyers? Because I know the designers and buyers work together.
They have to work together. It's definitely a thing of them having to work together because the designer will come with the research and the buyer also will come with, this is what I think is important, this is what I need from you as my supplier.
Yeah.
And you also need to be like, okay, I can give you that and I can give you more.
Okay, so to offer value.
Yes. So you have to be like, so they'll be like, oh, please, I need a range of these sweaters, these joggers and whatever.
Okay.
You'll be like, but I also saw sweaters and joggers that look like this. Maybe you should put in that pocket instead of this pocket and it'll come out cheaper and still give you the same look. Or it'll, do you know what I mean? Like you need to also, as a designer, give your because it's definitely a collaboration when it comes to that garment.
Okay, we hear you. So then the brief comes, or you propose a brief. What happens from that step?
So from that step where you get your brief, then you have a showing. I don't know if you've heard of a capsule showing where it's basically every month there will be a range of what needs to go into stores.
Okay.
So the buyer will then brief us way in advance about it. Then when we get closer to the time, the designer will come up with the range as per the brief and a little bit extra, a little bit of frills extra. And then the buying team will be like, I want that, yes, no, according to price.
I want to be a buyer.
Yes, I need that in my range. No, it would make sense maybe to put this with the range or that with the range and da-da-da-da. And oh my gosh, I saw these were flying out last month. Please add more of that. Or
so the buyers will look at like the
trade.
Sales trends.
Definitely
sales,
trade,
and then they'll go back and be like, okay, that's sold out.
Yes.
More of that.
Yes.
Add this.
It definitely influences the way that they buy. it influences the way that the buyer buys. Definitely the sales play a role. Because at the end of the day, you need to make money as a company.
Yeah,
so,
true.
Yes.
True.
So that's so from that the showing, then we go back with all the notes that were made in the showing and all the decisions, and we put those styles through for production.
Okay.
Right? And that's a whole nother, that's where the real work starts, where you have to kind of...
that's where the creativity stops and the admin starts.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just heard like the buying part was nice, and then I just heard, okay, cool, then you
that's
took
where
the
the real work starts,
so
where you have to make sure that that fit is amazing, that it fits, that both you, the buying team, and the QA
so
team.
you are from the beginning of the process. Like once you get the brief, your job doesn't stop until that collection goes out.
This is true, yeah.
That's a lot.
My job stops at... after I've sample bagged that garment. Let's say that specific garment, I've tested it for shrinkage, I've tested the fit and everything for that garment, then my job kind of stops. Then it's, you know what I mean? It's like...
So you do first fit and everything?
We do first fits, yes.
That is a lot of work.
A lot of admin, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, I have a small background in design and like buying, so I'm like, I didn't know that like the designer's process actually starts, well, you start from the brief, but I didn't know you guys go all the way to fittings.
Yes, definitely to fittings, to, for instance, let's say if you have a graphic top, to checking the shrinkage on that graphic top, testing the fabric of that graphic top, like there's a lot that goes into it,
So if you want to be a designer, just know there's a lot of work.
Yeah, but you definitely have to be passionate about it.
Yeah, you have to love it clearly, because it's not easy. I think people have the notion that, or the misconception that
so glamorous.
It's so glamorous, it's so easy, but reconsider careers.
No, but if you love it, you love it.
Yeah, you love it, you love it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Lisa. It was a great time having you.
Thank you for having me. It was fabulous.
Awesome, guys. So if you guys want to be a fashion designer, I'm going to list a couple of companies down here with a couple of colleges as well that you can apply to study fashion. We are not going to speak for Odisa, but we went to Odisa, both of us.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really good foundation for any fashion designer out there or aspiring buyer. So just click the links below. Don't forget to subscribe and like. And you can find Lisa at, what's your Instagram handle?
At Lisa Matya. That's it.
That's it.
Just at Lisa Matya.
On all platforms.
Okay, wait. If you
So
want me,
Instagram
it's Lisa Matya. Yeah, just one word. Facebook, it's my full name. No, it's actually just Lisa Matya as well. Sorry. Yeah. TikTok, it's my full name at Lisa Kanya Matya.
There we go.
And what else?
Where else are you on? I think that's 30 social medias you are. So you can find it there.
Yeah.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch any of our previous videos.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.